Hello, sisters. Welcome back to HB Ministries, a ministry for you to believe, behold, and become all God's created you to be in whatever season of life. So today is going to be raw and real. As a matter of fact, I will turn this camera around and you will see how raw and real and beautiful I am this morning. I got up so early this morning. I don't know why. It was like 4 a.m. I couldn't sleep. You ever have those mornings, ladies? And I thought, you know what? I'm going to start my Bible study. So I went and grabbed my coffee, got my Bible downstairs from the woman's cave where all my stuff was at, my girl cave. And I started working on today's verses. Of course, I grabbed my highlighters. Of course, I grabbed my calendar and my spiritual prompts. So if you're just passing this video for the very first time, you are going to want to go over to heatherbaxter.com because you can pick up the September calendar, which looks like this. All right. And then I take that and I put it into my planner. And so all of my verses are written down. I like it in my planner because when I go to plan my day, I can kind of review my dreams and goals under my daily pages. But then this is my Bible study section. And so you can see today we are studying humility and pride. And those are all the verses for the whole month of September. We are studying the way of wisdom. And so everything we're talking about has to do with wisdom, and we're studying Proverbs. So I went ahead and I took those verses and I placed them at the top of my journal. And then I went ahead and I wrote all of them out today. And then after that, I just started brain dumping some thoughts. And so I'm going to go over that with you right now. And then I'm going to have you zoom in on 1 Peter 5, 6 through 7, which was not part of your verse today, but I'm going to explain to you what God brought to me in my quiet time and something that he revealed to me. So we are going to definitely go over this. So get your pens and your journals ready, piece of paper ready. Don't forget to use your spiritual prompts as you're going over today's verse. This is also very, very helpful. I did this. I'm not going to zoom in on this today. I zoomed in on this in some areas that I feel like the Lord was showing me humility and pride in my personal life. And I already wrote that out. And then I'm going to talk to you about the lesson. So let me turn this around. And we are going to do Bible study from my bed today. And it is so real because look at ahead. That's all the laundry that I have to put away. Straight up there. All the laundry. Crazy, right? It's from vacation, but we'll get to it. Nope, no problem.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things...
Okay. I made the bed. I have a lot of pillows. Do ladies have a lot of pillows on your bed? I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4 sleep pillows, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pillows just because. All right, let's get into today's devotional. So I'm going to do this in a different approach. You're spending the morning with me. I have my coffee. And like I said, I got up so early today. So I don't know why. I'm probably going to be tired later, but I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do a devotion. And at the same time, I am going to be putting on all of my face serums that I do every morning. So I figured why not just do this all together, because I've already marinated in the message all morning. And I just want to share like what came to me out of today's reading. So the first thing that you ladies needed to do was write all your verses down. So if you're new here, you can watch some of my past videos on how I do the Bible verses, how I write them down, how I get my message, and yada, yada, yada. You can watch those in all my other videos. So what I do first is, like I showed you, is I write down all of the verses. So today we did Proverbs 11:2, 15:33, 27, 1 through 2, and 29, 3. So we're talking a lot about pride and we're talking about humility. You're going to see in the verses that when pride comes, disgrace follows it. In Proverbs 22:24, I wrote, the result of humility is fear of the Lord, along with wealth, honor, and life and riches. So I was really pondering that and praying about some things, because do you ever notice in life, I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes you think the ones that are pretty prideful and just not humble and maybe a little arrogant have a lot and they're doing so well, and then the person that's trying to be humble and do things the right way are lagging behind. I don't know, but I noticed that. And so I was just praying about some stuff, especially in the workplace. You can experience this. And so, yeah, I was thinking about that. And then a person's pride will humble him or bring him low. A person's pride will bring him low, but a humble spirit will gain honor. A humble spirit will gain honor. So I, again, was just writing all of this down. And then I went ahead and I began to just think about some things my husband's going through with his work. Nothing bad at all, but you know how men are. Men struggle a little more with this pride and being humble, especially in a workplace. It's like, I don't know. I just feel, do you guys feel that way too? Do you feel like that could be a man thing? Maybe I'm just completely off, but so I was writing a prayer out to God in regards to my husband when I was using these spiritual prompts. Again, remember, these prompts can be found at heatherbaxter.com on the calendar. So I was just writing down what God was using to speak to me and just some, characters in my life in regards to being, having humility and, not having pride. But God brought a specific verse to me. And this is what I want to share with you today, because I think you guys are going to really, really like this. So first of all, a couple things I want you to think about when you're doing today's verse is a humble man trusts the Lord. Okay, a humble man is going to trust the Lord. I'm putting on right now while I talk to you. Okay, ladies, I want to know your serums. Do you have a morning serum and a night serum routine that you use? If so, I want to know. I use this whole timeless set. And I have this right here I put on first, and it is my vitamin C folic acid. I love this. And then not too far after that, I put this on next. This has my hyaluronic acid in it, Matrixyl Syntha 6. So that's what it is. Anyway, just put this on. Then after that, I go with my coenzyme Q10 serum. This is one of my favorites. And this one's I just love. So I just put it in my hand, and then it's so good. So that is a little bit about my face serums in the morning. So let's just do this, and then I'm all done. When I'm all done, I will put this on, and this is my skin food. I absolutely love this. It is super, super good, and it goes a long way if you apply it. It is so rich, creamy, and I end up putting this on my face, and I mix this, which I'm not going to do today because I'm not wearing makeup today. Today's just going to be a serum day, but a lot of times I will mix this with my CC It cream, and so my foundation with this, and that's how I get my nice little glow. So I absolutely love this stuff. I don't know, I love listening to serums that ladies use, that other ladies use on their face. I am huge on that. I think it's important. So I do this every morning, and I'm usually reading my Bible sometimes when I'm doing this and getting ready to go downstairs and actually write out the scriptures. So this is completely part of my morning. And then I'll usually go work out or go for a walk. So as soon as I'm done taping this, I'm going to edit it really quick and post it. And then I have a Peloton class, and then I'm going on my 3-minute walk. So that is today's morning. So anyway, I'm going to kind of bend this camera down, and we are going to talk now. After we got our serums on, I'm feeling like, okay, let's go with this. All right. Alrighty. So Some things that you can go ahead and write down that I was considering this morning was, first of all, a humble man trusts the Lord and doubts his own opinions, but he's open and eager to hear the view of others. So that is a humble man. And then I don't know, I was thinking about this as I was pondering humility and pride. And I was thinking about social media today and the way our children are taught self-esteem and self-love, and how all of this is being portrayed through like Instagram posts and all these beautiful pictures that you can take, and then you put a caption on. And I'm thinking, is this a little bit of pride? And our kids instead are just in this universe that revolves around them. Like, how many likes can I get? And they're just convinced that they're better than others based on how they look, how their nails are done, how they portray themselves, what outfit do they have on. And it's so sad, because really God's created us to love and serve others and make others more important than you. That's what social media should be about. And the giftings that God's given us as we share, I think your esteem is lifted from that. So those are just two thoughts that I had. And now I kind of made a checklist this morning. I don't know why, but I just thought, well, this is kind of something that came. But I said, I put a list together on if I was proud, just a checklist for myself. And I put, how cheerfully do you take correction? I'm going to be honest, I do not take correction well. So that's a sign of pride. I don't know. I feel brought down if I'm corrected on something, and that's something I have to work on. I'm just being honest. Can you admit you are wrong and apologize? I don't struggle too much with that. I can admit that I'm wrong and apologize, but it takes me a while to get there. Because again, a lot of times if I'm corrected on something, I need to get to the place that I was wrong and I apologize. So that's part of, being proud. And do you easily forgive others? I tend to do that. Yes, I really believe that. Do you criticize others verbally? I think we all have a tendency to criticize something or bring somebody down if we're not in the right place, or we're in a place that we feel that we are deserving of. So I was careful to think about that. And will you serve those lower than you? And this reminded me of Jesus washing the disciples' feet. Will you serve? Will you wash somebody else's feet? Basically, lower than you. So these were just a checklist I put together for myself this morning as I was thinking of this. But here's the gist of today's lesson. I want you to write down 1 Peter 5, 6 through 7. Very, very important verse. And it says, if you humble yourself under God's mighty hand, he will exalt you soon. If you humble yourself under God's mighty hand, he will exalt you soon. Now that is verse 6. Verse 7, this verse comes after, and it says, cast all your anxieties onto him because he cares for everything. So I thought it was interesting that first we are to humble ourselves under. And after looking at all of the verses on being humble, I realized what a powerful verse today. Humble yourself under God's mighty hand and he will exalt you. And so I began to look at the word humble, and listen, suffering keeps us humble, because when we're suffering, we realize our insufficiencies to our struggle. I mean, that's a lot of times when I just was brought low, and then I realized God's really in control of this, and then I got myself in position to respond to his greatness. So I began to think about humbling ourselves under God's mighty hand. Under is getting under where he can lift you from the suffering. If you're not under it, we can't get lifted. If we're trying to control everything on our own and really think that we're in control of our own destiny, that's completely in contrast to God's greatness. He's created us to put our trust in him and not man. So if we're not under that realization, then we are not allowing God to control our destiny. And we're really kind of mocking his greatness. his control over everything he has in our life. So we have to get under that mentally. We have to get into that position to say that I'm going to get under God. And his mighty hand is what makes it all work. His mighty hands are way bigger than ours, and he knows how to work everything out. He can see everything on his timetable. So even if we see suffering and we think we're stumbling from the suffering and it's going to cause great problems, he already has a strategy to lift us all up out of it and to exalt us. But it's in his timing. If you can see in this verse, it says God's mighty hand, he will exalt you soon, again, in God's timing. Are we humble enough to realize it's not our timing and it's God's timing? So sometimes we think God's not at work and we doubt God. And this is a sign of pride and not being humble. And so this verse really helped me because verse 6 plus verse 7 is going to bring your exaltation. It's going to bring your exalting. It's going to bring what God says over here when we are studying on when you are humble. That is when you are going to receive wealth, honor, and life, which is riches. So I found that to be interesting. In order to receive, you have to humble yourself under the mighty hand of God. And then you can cast all your anxiety. That's everything that is causing you insufficiency, weakness. And then it's a sign of pride when we feel that way. And if we humble ourselves under the mighty hand of God, he is sovereign and he rules all over our personal world. So I don't know, but I pray that this verse really ties in everything today, because really we are quickly studying on humility and pride. And I wanted to give you kind of like the action of how do we get this, how do we get our pride in order? How do we become humble? And this is the verse that God showed me. It's 1 Peter 5:6-7. If you humble yourself under the mighty hand of God, he will exalt you. So keyword is humble. How do you humble? Is get under God, because he's going to lift you up from your suffering. You need to understand that his hand is mighty. He works all things out. Even with what's going on right now, he is working it out. I promise you. He wants to exalt you. He wants to control your destiny to something that he has exceedingly and beyond all that we can think or imagine. And that's Ephesians 3:20. So we got to put God's greatness before our thoughts and before our pride and before what we want. And we have to trust in him. So important. He is sovereign. He rules over your personal world. So that is today's lesson. I pray that it was a blessing, and thanks for getting ready with me and doing all my creams. Again, if you guys want to know what serums I use, because again, I want to know what serums you use, you can find all of this on my Amazon store, because a lot of people will ask, and it's under, I think, health and beauty. But I find these to be amazing, especially this. But I'm always willing to try new things. Oh, you know something else I use? Who does not use this? I love this stuff for your neck and chin. You know, we get those double chins when we get older. So this will firm your skin. So I do take that and I put it all on the bottom of my chinny chin chin. Yep. Rub it in. All right, ladies, thank you for spending the morning with me. It is now, it's early still, but the sun is arising. And I'm going to go and get my walk on. I'm going to pray for you, and I'm going to pray over some things that this verse revealed to me for my husband. So I hope that this was, it was just a different approach, right? I'm not all dressed up and in my office, but I still vlogged for you. I still brought you my point of view and showed you how I did my study right in bed, made my bed, came over here, put my serums on, still reflected on the word, and shared it with you. So leave me a comment on what spoke to you, and let me know how it was a blessing. What did the Holy Spirit reveal to you in today's messages? Blessings, and I will talk to you tomorrow in our live video. Be sure to join the HB Bible Study and Resource page, because that is where you will get updated. That's where I drop the newsletter off. And again, tonight the newsletter is sent out with all the notes for our live study. So if you do not belong or not subscribe to heatherbaxter.com, I highly recommend that you subscribe over at heatherbaxter.com right here, so you can get that newsletter. And those newsletters are for your war binder. Start filling up your war binder with notes, wisdoms, recipes on wisdom and God's word. So I will see you all tomorrow. I love you and have an awesome day. Bye-bye.